All right, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Massive uptrend in the market, specifically the NASDAQ. This is a 7-day chart, 14 days. You can see, I mean, there's a clear uptrend. Like, you have to be blind not to see this. I see conspiracy theorists out there saying, like, a crash is coming, the recession, the inflation. Maybe, but right now, price action is king and price action is uptrending. You have to be an absolute moron or a narrow-minded short seller to not see this, which some are. HKD, giant supernova from the 20s now to the 400s. Again, you either have to be a moron or a narrow-minded short seller not to see the tremendous upside. This is part of the reason why I haven't short sold anything other than Robinhood stock in 2+ years. Much less stressful existence, much more profitable. But I get it. You know, I used to be a short seller. I've made millions short selling. I know that narrow-minded, negative, cynical attitude. HKD will probably go broke in the long run. It doesn't matter. It's a giant short squeeze. My condolences go out to the short sellers, but at the same time, short sellers are so twisted and so negative, they're actually enjoying losing. Like, I know it sounds weird. Like, you're like, what kind of a person would enjoy losing? Short sellers. They're all twisted in the head. I used to be one. Trust me, I can talk about this with experience. For me, I'm just loving this supernova action. BCAC is another one. Just went supernova. FaZe is trying to go supernova. When you see the overall market bouncing, there's a lot of opportunity. I'm now up over 100,000 on the year. Sorry, not on the month. 24,000 basically in July. Pretty damn good. I think this is probably one of my best months, if not the best month of the year. Much slower than last year, obviously. If you go back and you look at, you know, my year to date from 2021, I think it's important to try to make these comparisons so that you understand not every year is going to be the same. This is not a 9-to-5 job. So I'm up 107,000 roughly this year. Last year at this time, nearly $1 million. So basically 1/10 of what I made last year. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, I'm crying. No, I'm not. It's fine. Welcome to the market. Welcome to adapting. I think it's very important to adapt. If you watch some of these recent video lessons, I'm going to link this with Bryce Manchild closing in on $1 million. Listen to, you know, I'll post a link to this whole video so that you can watch it. It's a really good interview. But listen to the beginning of this interview.
When the OTC market gets hot, be ready. Be ready.
Just those first few words. When the OTC market gets hot, be ready. It's not just about the OTC market, it's the NASDAQ. I gave a free webinar last week specifically on NASDAQ plays because I think that over the next few weeks, NASDAQ plays are going to be amazing. I'll post a link to that free webinar. You should watch it. You can ignore it if you want, but I do think that there's a lot of upside. HKD showed it, BCAC showed it, and now FaZe is showing it. FaZe was one of my best trades of the month. This was supposed to be a weekend play, but I had to take profits because it just kept spiking. I bought it in the 12s. The goal was to sell it in the 13s or 14s. I sold some in the 13s, sold the rest in the 15s. It actually went to nearly 17 late Friday. Why? FaZe, if you know what FaZe Clan is, I've done a few videos. I've mentioned it a few times in a few webinars. They're an online video gaming company. They've got like 20, 25 influencers with millions of followers. Each one of those followers is hyping up FaZe, the stock, not just the company anymore. They wear t-shirts with a ticker. They go on Twitch. They go on Twitter. They go on Instagram. They go on TikTok. Fantastic. FaZe has now had multiple spikes. When they did the SPAC, it didn't really move much. But as you can see here, it spiked $6 a share here, spiked $5, and here it spiked $4. So it's not like massive yet, but if these guys ever coordinate and all 20 plus of them like talk about FaZe at the same time, I could see this running even more. And I've, had a few good trades on it now. Not even looking to sell so quick, but again, I don't know when they're talking about it. I don't really care. All I know is I'm going to buy it on intraday panics when it's uptrending. There's a clear uptrend going on with FaZe, and I buy it on intraday panics. That reduces my risk. Then I sell into the madness. And it was very good. You know, my after hours sell on Friday, it actually got up to 17, but it's already come back down to the 13s. You got like 10, 15, 20 minutes to sell when one of these, video gamers mentions it to their followers. Very similar to my old Bilzerian trade. If you go back through my history, I had a great trade when Bilzerian first mentioned his stock to his followers. This isn't one giant influencer like Bilzerian, but it's like, 24 little small ones. So I'm proud of that. For the month, 24,000, that's a damn good month. Just leave a comment below. Let me know if you're going to take advantage of all of this, opportunity, because I think it's very cool. Like I said, I'll link to, Bryce's interview here. This is another video. I show, basically why it's good to start small. Counterintuitive. I know a lot of people want to start big, but watch this video. This is another video I just posted on my YouTube channel. And I went on like a blackboard. Pascal had to like put computer graphics over it because my handwriting isn't good and the markers weren't good. But I explained why it's better to start with 2,000 than 25,000. I know a lot of people want to earn a lot. You want to be over the PDT rule to start. I think that's a bad idea. If you think that you should start with 25,000, start with 2,000. I used to hate the PDT rule too, but now 15 years of teaching has taught me it's good to start small. So I'll post a link to this video and this video. Start studying. Also, big news right now. September 1st and 2nd, small group in-person coaching in Miami. I think we have like 2 or 3 seats left. That's it. And now I'm proud to announce October 17th, 18th will be the bigger conference. That's going to be in Miami also. We're sticking with Miami. We have a very cool hotel there. Email admin@timothysykes.com for all the details if you want to join on September 1st or 2nd or October 17th or 18th. I know that we did in-person coaching in Austin. We did one in Vegas for the West Coast. So now this is for East Coast. And obviously Miami is pretty cool. So some of you guys have already signed up for this. Again, email admin@timothysykes.com for all the details. I know I'm going to get a ton of questions now that we have specific dates. I'll do a more detailed video. If you've already signed up, I'll give you all the details. But this is just to announce it if you have to plan travel, because I know travel is kind of tough right now. So this is confirmed. October 17th, 18th, 2-day conference in Miami. Again, email admin@timothysykes.com for details. But the point of this video, respect HKD. Leave a comment below. Say, I love all of these supernovas if you're loving it. I'm not even necessarily profiting on all of these. I just like this market environment that allows for all these supernovas. It's been a while. It's been a slower year. And as Bryce said in that interview, like when OTCs heat up, be ready. When the NASDAQ heats up, be ready. When any supernovas heat up, be ready. I don't know what's going to run big on Monday, if anything, but I'll be looking for potential short squeezes. I'll be looking for early runners. I'll see if, any more of these FaZe influencers, mention the stock. I'm sorry I'm losing my voice. I'm here in Italy. We just had a giant Luis V. Roma and UNICEF gala last night. Crazy, crazy party. I'll post pictures in a little bit, but partying with like Jared Leto, Jamie Foxx, so many more people. There was like 1,000 people. Leonardo DiCaprio was there. Met him real quick. It was insane. So yeah. Anyways, I'll tell you about that more when you're older. Challenge students, I'll give you some stories on Wednesday on the next webinar. But that's why I got to cut this video lesson short. The point is, leave a comment below. Say, I love all these supernovas. Monday morning Eastern, be ready in the chat room. Let's look at what is spiking pre-market. Let's look at how they perform the first minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes of trading, and be ready. We can have more spikes. HKD I wouldn't chase right now. BCAC I wouldn't chase. I mean, BCAC has already come down pretty hard. So all of these are potential dip buys into intraday panics. Then you try to sell into strength. Recognize the power of supernovas. I gotta go. My throat is killing me. Be careful when you party in Capri with Leo and Jamie Foxx and Diplo. Don't even get me started. Anyways, I'll see you in chat on Monday. Be ready. All right, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Pre-market on Tuesday. I'm going to try to be there at the market open, but it's tough. I got my parents coming in. I'm flying them to Italy, so I might miss the market open. I'm doing this video just to help you understand, to kind of put things in perspective. If nothing else, I can hopefully give you some kind of perspective on this madness. You know, if you've watched my last few video lessons, you know the market has been heating up. You know that supernovas have been heating up. If you watched my webinar last week, this is a free webinar. I'll link it again below. It's crazy to me that some people are like, no, I don't want to learn. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Put together this webinar because I sensed that things were heating up. Thought that there was some good opportunities. Did not know that HKD was going to go, in just a few days. I mean, this was literally a $20 stock. It was actually, even lower. If you go back here, it was like a $15 stock. Now in the 800s, 900s, very well could pass 1,000. I did not know how much upside there was. If you watch this free webinar, you'll hear me say that I think that this is a very unique time, in the market that creates this kind of explosive possibilities. I was more right than I even realized. It is amazing. And we're actually going to I'm getting a lot of questions about this webinar. Watch it. And then we're also working on some Q&A. I think it actually won't even just be 46 days. Because again, I came up with this model sensing that there was some supernova potential. A lot of supernova potential. Did not anticipate this. So stay tuned. Watch this webinar, but stay tuned for an addendum, because I think that it might not just be the next 46 days. This is insane, okay? We have not seen a stock like this. Seriously, first, congrats to everybody buying it in, similar plays. MGAM was spiking big, from the 4s to the 20s. AMTD, which owns a big piece of HKD, is now spiking. There's so many. I'm trading this lower volume recent IPO, NA. Watch this one. If it breaks above 12, this one could get crazy. MIA is also spiking big. Getty is going crazy. I mean, this is an insane market. And I do have to say, first of all, and also FaZe keeps going. I keep buying this on intraday panics. I mean, this one likes to panic and then it likes to spike. So recognize these big movers, and it astounds me that there's still so many short sellers who short sell aggressively, and they're getting creamed. Some more than others. I mean, I know Jack Kellogg and Kyle Williams each lost 6 figures, but at least they, kept their losses relatively small compared to their recent gains. I mean, Kyle Williams still finished green on the month, even though he destroyed a solid, nearly $200,000 month. Some people, especially not my, top students, some people who are undisciplined, people who are like, oh, just short anything. There's all these short seller communities. They got absolutely annihilated. And I encourage you, I know we need short sellers and they create these great squeezes, but at the same time, these shady short sellers who are literally losing everything and more, and yet they don't post their trades publicly. This is part of the reason why I'm so crazy about getting everyone to post publicly. A lot of these short sellers are getting creamed, and that sucks. But the worst part is that because they don't post their losses, a lot of newbies follow these quote big short sellers. And because these big short sellers don't post their losses, the newbies don't realize the risks. So for me, I hate misinformation. I hate shadiness. I hate lack of transparency, whether it's penny stock promoters who destroy newbies because people just follow them in, crypto promoters who destroy newbies because they follow them in, and now short sellers who destroy newbies because they follow them in. You really have to call them out. So if you see a big short seller being like, oh, glad I wasn't short HKD, there's a 90% chance that they're lying, okay? I'm friends with a lot of brokers, a lot of market makers. Again, I'm not here to call anybody out. I don't have time for that. These little personal battles. It's not any one person. It's the whole short selling community as a whole. And this is part of the reason why I don't short sell anymore. The risks are ridiculous. Imagine, if you will, for a second, and leave a comment at any time in this video if I can make my point and say, in the comments, say, I will be extra safe shorting, or say, I will not short. Either or works for me. I just want you to put it in writing, because imagine you see this thing up from like the 15s and it's here in the 400s, and you see it kind of like quadruple topping, and you're like, no, it's already up, 30 times. It can't go up anymore. And then it breaks out. And yes, it can go up more. This was the same kind of breakout here at 80. I don't know if you watched my video lesson from the other day where I was like, this is a perfect breakout above 80. I didn't know it was going to go this high. I'm not chasing. I'm not like a perfect genius. What I do know is that there's this specific setup that is right now that is creating this kind of powder keg moment for supernovas. And that's why I gave this free webinar. And that's why I don't short sell anymore. And a lot of these big shorts, they're down 6, 7, 8 figures. Call their asses out. If you see any big short seller commenting on this stock, again, it's not everybody, but there is a 90%, maybe 95% chance that they are short. And they don't want anyone to know. They don't want to risk losing their luster to their followers. Look at me, I'm a big short seller. I'm so good. They are full of shit, and it sickens me. And I know we need them to create the short squeezes. So just like the promoters, it's a very similar situation where I have to call out the promoters, but I know that the promoters are needed to create some amazing pumps to trade. Same thing with the short sellers. So all I'm saying is most people who watch my video lessons, they're newbies. Be wary of crypto promoters, be wary of penny stock promoters, and be wary of short sellers who don't talk about the risks, okay? Imagine you're shorting, let's say, just like 100 shares here, at 480. That's a lot. That's still like, maybe you shorted at like 450, right? 100 shares. Not 1,000 shares would be $450,000, but even 100 shares is $45,000. And a lot of these big short sellers say, look at this. You put in 45,000, it's already up from the 15s. You shorted at the call at 450. This freak, short it at 480, right? Try to get the exact top. Look, 100 shares, 48,000. This has to drop, right? Can't break out past 480. So you think that you're going to cover at 400. You think that you're going to cover at 300. You're like, wow, this is awesome. I'm putting in 48,000. I'm going to make like 8,000. I might make like 10,000. This is a gimme. Now, all of a sudden, you find yourself down 100%. You've lost all 40,000 plus, and there's risk of more squeeze. Okay. And what if it's not just 100 shares? What if it's 1,000 shares? What if you say this is such a ridiculous run up, which, by the way, until this thing went to 1,000, 13 up to the 400s, that is the biggest short squeeze that I've ever seen. And it's insane to think that it could go further. But this is the risk with short selling. You never know how high it can go. And as I've been saying now for 2+ years, if you go back and watch all my video lessons, short selling is a very crowded niche. It creates this powder keg. So forget about just what I say in this free webinar, which you should watch. There is also a powder keg going on with short sellers. And imagine if you use leverage, imagine if you borrowed and you short 1,000 shares here. in the 480, 470, 460 range. And you don't maybe have 450, 470, 480,000 to your name. Maybe you have 50,000 and you're using 10-to-1 leverage and you're like, this is the biggest gimme. And all these short selling chat rooms have all this groupthink. Everyone says this is not this, the valuation is ridiculous. This shouldn't go up this much. And so they use leverage. And so somebody with $45,000, $50,000 is now using 10-to-1 leverage, as some brokers offer, which is sickening. And you short 1,000 shares. And now you're down $500,000. You've lost 10 times the amount of what you have in your account. This is why short selling is so dangerous. So again, I thank the short sellers for creating short squeeze opportunities like this and creating all the sympathy plays. But at the same time, call their asses out in chat rooms, on social media. Show every trade, you shady scumbags, crypto promoters, penny stock promoters, and short sellers. We are in a data-backed industry. It is disgusting. It is detestable that people who have this influence on newbies don't show every trade. And the newbies get the wrong idea. And I'm not here to expose any newbies, but I know several newbies have not just lost all their money, they've lost magnitudes of all their money. 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10 times their money. And guess what? It could get worse. I hope that it doesn't. I'm not chasing HKD at these levels. And I hope that, maybe it gets halted or it cracks soon. But I'm also fearful that it could keep going because I know how many short sellers are involved here. And also I see on social media, some people are like, oh, good thing HKD is not shortable. That's dumb too. There's so much stupidity, so much misinformation. Of course there are shares to short. It blows my mind. I don't even know what's worse. I tweeted this last night. I was like, what's worse? The people who don't think that HKD is shortable because they're just unprepared, or the over-aggressive short sellers who are creating this squeeze? I really don't know which is worse. There's so much misinformation everywhere I look. It is sickening to me. Be careful, okay? Don't look to say I'm guaranteeing that this is going to drop. Don't look to say, oh, let me use all this leverage. Leverage will wipe you out if you're wrong just once. And a lot of over-aggressive short sellers here are wrong and have been wrong. So congrats to longs. Buy the breakouts at 80. Buy the breakouts at 480. If this gets to 1,000, I might even buy 100 shares just for a quick spike. If it gets to 1,000, might try to flip it at 1,100 or 1,200. I don't know how high it goes. I hope I don't have to take that trade because I know how many shorts are just annihilated right now. And it really sickens me. And the big short sellers out there, if you're watching this, you should be ashamed of yourselves because you have promoted a strategy that has devastated the lives of the financially naive and unprepared everywhere. And I am so proud to have gotten out of the short selling community because they are just as, if not more dangerous than penny stock promoters. Penny stock promoters, what are you going to do? You're going to lose all your money. Crypto promoters, you lose all your money. It goes to zero. Short sellers, again, you can lose 3, 5, 10 times your money, 50 times your money. What if you didn't even short it at 480? What if you were so sure of this here in the 200s? Because no stock had ever done this before, right? And then you're shorting in the 200, you're adding in the 300, you're adding in the 400. You're like, this has to be the top. This has to be the top. It's not. And this is how you blow up accounts. This is how you destroy your life. This is why short selling is so risky. This is why people say, stock trading is a scam. It's not a scam. It's misinformation. It's lack of discipline. And I'm the antidote to this virus. No one else is willing to have such thick skin as I get attacked daily by people saying that I'm a scam, penny stocks are a scam, my strategies are a scam, my students are fake. I'm used to this. Okay? Most people would just give up. Most people are like, I don't need this. But for me, knowing that what I teach is real, knowing that what I teach can save your asses, that gives me more energy. That gives me more confidence. I was up till 5 a.m. last night just trying to, put this in perspective, respond to it, write blog posts, do this video lesson. I mean, 5 in the morning for me here. I'm in Italy. Right now, it might be 5 in the morning Eastern time when I'm filming this, but it's 11 in the morning here. The point is, don't short sell, or if you do, recognize how high it can go up. Leave that comment below. And please, for the love of God, watch this free webinar. Learn why these supernovas are taking off. Some people are like, oh, I had no idea. Why is there supernovas in August? This is supposed to be the slowest month of the year. Watch this webinar. Start to realize this is not going to be the normal August. Capitalize on this and call these shady scumbag short sellers out. How's that for an alliteration? I'm sick. I'm sickened by their misinformation campaigns and their shadiness. Be safe. That's all I'm asking. Again, I'm going to try to be there for the market open. I don't know if I'm going to be. I got to pick up my parents. We got to eat pizza. Leave a comment below. Watch my free webinar. Be safe. See you when I can.